All right. Hey there, everybody. I think I'm figuring this out. It has been a long time since I've played around and done live streaming. So it's good to be back and good to be here hanging out with you. So I don't know if you've noticed this on social media or on my Twitter or anywhere else that you might be following me, but I'm actually on a 4 month sabbatical from my ministry at the church. So this is officially week 4 that has just started of my sabbatical. I've been on a couple of retreats already. I've been reading and I've just been really, really enjoying the time of rest and renewal and just kind of pursuing my own spiritual health and physical health and emotional health. And I'm reading a book right now called Healing Through Creativity. And it's not to get too churchy or theological right out of the get-go, but it's on this whole idea that humanity is created in the image and likeness of God, and God is a creator God. So we have it in us, the ability and the desire to create. And as we are creating, not for the sake of making product or anything like that, but just creating for the joy of creating, it's really good for us. It's good for our hearts, it's good for our souls. And so that's what I want to start doing now, weekly here on my channel. Hopefully this is all working properly, because for some reason, I don't know, I'm having problems with the microphone, but I think I solved it. So if I'm just talking to myself and you're here joining us, well, jump into the comments and let me know that you can't hear me. And I'll try to solve it. So what I'm going to do today, let me just jump over here, is we're going to be painting DC multiverse miniatures. And so this is a new game that I just started playing, and I love it. Like, I'm absolutely loving this game here. Let me go back quickly to this layout. Let me just show you quickly. I should have prepared this beforehand. Now I can't reach it. No, that's not them. Where are they? Oh, there they are. Sorry. I reorganized my geek corner. And so the way this game plays, it's a tabletop miniature game. So I've been printing, scenery, which is all up here. You can't see it. And then every character comes with kind of your stats and your abilities and superpowers and things like that, right? So of course you've got, Kal-El Superman with all of his powers, and you build a small squad and you duke it out and see what group of superheroes wins the day. And so what I've been doing, instead of having to spend tons and tons and tons of money to buy these miniatures, the company has now released these as STL files to 3D print yourself. So that's what I'm doing. I've got a buddy of mine, good friend of mine, got a beautiful resin printer. So he's printing everything out for me. So that's all the miniatures that are right here and a bunch over here. And so I've been painting them. So that's what I'm working on today. So let's jump in. What I'm hoping to do today is I want to get further along in painting the Justice League. So here I've got Dr. Fate, and this camera is never going to zoom in. I don't know why it wants to zoom in on all the hairs on my arm instead of the miniature in front of me. But we've got Dr. Fate that we're going to work on. We've got Shazam. I've got Booster Gold. I've got the Blue Beetle. And then I've got Hawkman. Love, love, love this miniature Hawkman. It's absolutely gorgeous. And a couple that I want to finish off is I started working on the Martian Manhunter. So we're going to continue him. And I'm just about finished the Flash. So the Flash just got a few little details left to do on the base, and then they'll be done. He'll be finished. And so what I'm doing with these is I've been predominantly using speed paint. Now, here again, let me just jump back here for a second. So what I've done now with my painting station is I found these files for printing out these little caps, these little kind of Benum character caps. I prime them with my airbrush, and then I glue them onto a thing of paint like this with the white base. And then with the speed paint, I would then paint it so I can see kind of better what this will look like on a miniature than just the label of the bottle. And so this has been a really big help for me because I'm not much of a color guy. I predominantly work in black and white whenever I draw, so color is still new to me. So prepping all my paints this way with all these little cats has been really helpful to help me see the colors better and kind of which version of blue is really a Superman blue compared to a Dr. Fate blue compared to a Blue Beetle blue, because they're not all the same, right? So this has really helped me out with that. So let's jump over here and then what should we start with first? So let's start with Hawkman, because again, this is a beautiful, beautiful miniature. Oh, and one other tip that, well, not so much of a tip, but just this is just the way it is my buddy is actually printing these out for me at 125% of the actual size. So these miniatures end up being slightly bigger than the official miniatures in the game. And the reason I asked him to do that is because I'm old. And my eyes just don't seem to want to work as good as they used to. So having them a little bit bigger makes it more enjoyable for me to paint. And really, it makes tiny, tiny, minuscule difference on the table with the size of the base. The size of the base is slightly different. But I don't play these games competitively anyways. I just play them for fun with my friends and family. So I don't care if it's not quite the right size. That's totally fine for me. So if you're noticing this looks bigger in my hand than your DC Multiverse miniatures, that's why. So first thing I got to do is take these glasses off and switch on over to my handy dandy life-saving magnifying glass goggles. This now just makes the miniature absolutely come alive for me painting. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a basic coat of speed paint. I've got my paint palettes here, which literally are just these little pop-it things that I got from the dollar store. You can just pop and the paint just comes right off in your hand like that. So I use those for the paint. And now I was thinking about this earlier. Now this is going to seem like a strange color choice, but I like how this color looks here on the stopper, and it's called Pallid Bone. So it's a bone color, but I think I'm going to use this as a base for the wings, and then I can kind of highlight them and pick out different levels of the wings later on. So let's see how this goes. Put this on here. Just put a few drops in. What size brush do I think I want to use here? I want to go with, I will use this guy here. And as I've done in all my other live streams when I'm painting, lick the brush. That way you get a nice good point. Okay, come on in here. And we will just put a generous coat of the speed paint, and we let the paint do the work. This is why I tell people all the time when they ask me about miniature painting, they're like, oh, I could never do it. It's too much detail. It's so hard. You're so talented. Well, especially in the case of speed paint like this, it's not talent. It's technique. You just have to know how the paint works. And you just come on here and brush it all and let the paint do the job. It fills up all the little cracks of all the feathers. It does all the highlighting for you so that when now you look at it, you'll see this and you'll really be able to see pop when it dries. It'll be like this beautiful, beautiful hawk wing. That'll be there. And usually when I do a first thing like this, try not to touch it too much because I find it does monkey around a little bit with it. If you play around with it, better to just blob it on. And again, let it do the work. So I need a little bit more. Yes, I've been having a really good time on my sabbatical so far. It's originally when I was prepping for it, I'm very, very grateful for everybody that I work with because we did a really good job to prepare for it. Um, I was a little concerned that I was going to go a little loopy and feel quite bored and not know what to do with myself. But because of the plan that I put together and the books I'm reading and kind of the tasks I have set before me, it's been really, really nice. There's been lots of opportunity to connect with people, lots of opportunity to rest, lots of opportunity to read, and just really, just connect with God in kind of a new and different way that I've never done before in all my years of pastoring. So that's been really, really great for me. I'm just checking something over there on my phone. Perfect. Okay. Let's add. Problem is with a big area like this, like these wings, I am going through quite a lot of paint here, but that's fine. That's what it's for. And we'll hit the back of the wings. So what I've been doing to paint all these miniatures for the DC game is I'll start with an undercoat of a speed paint like this, and then I'll let this dry for 24 hours because it's putting this on pretty, thick, and it's quite wet as it goes into all the nooks and crannies. So I really want to give this enough time to dry before I touch it again. So I give this a good 24 hours. And then I can just use the regular paints to highlight things and pick out different areas or change the colors as a way to highlight areas. And then I'll use another color to finish off to highlight certain things and make certain areas pop or be more reflective or anything like that I wanted to do. So I've been finding with this 3-step approach of first primer, 4-step approach. I do the primer and I do it with different shades of black, white, and gray to kind of create a little bit of lighting contrast on the miniature that you can see here on Shazam. Started by painting on black, which you can see kind of in the back and underneath, and then highlighted it with gray and then highlighted it with white, so you can kind of see how the white is in the foreground shading away into the dark, so that when I put the color on top of it, it will keep some of that shading in there as well. Okay, so this looks amazing already. Like, again, detail. Again, you won't be able to see this. Well, maybe you can. But again, these 3D resin printers are just amazing for printing out these miniatures. The detail that comes out is just so good. Right? So I take that guy, and I need to just let that dry. So let me show you another miniature that I've already painted here. Let's see if I can find. Let's grab this guy here because this one was a really good example of it. So with that different approach that I talk about is, so here I got Kingdom Come Superman, which you can't see. Wait a second. Go here. Come back to this guy. Okay, so started with the shading. So you can see when I did the red speed paint, it kept kind of the black in the recesses of the cape. And so as I just hit it with a blast of the red speed paint on the cape, blue speed paint, and then did some highlighting with different shades of red, different shades of blue, and then just put a few little things in here to make it pop. This will work. Block that off. Does that make a difference to zoom in? No. But if you go on my YouTube page, you can see I've got these guys all done up on my shorts. And so this technique really, really does a great job. And again, the beauty of this technique is you don't have to be a great artist to make your miniatures look really, really good like this. There is that. So now I want to jump over and let's see who's a couple of these I'm actually going to do a little bit different. But for now, let's keep going with the same technique. Let's now jump over to Dr. Fate here. I had a pick. I'm going to start. His base is going to be with Magic Blue. Pretty appropriate for it to be called Magic Blue. Give that a good shake. Put my visor down so I can actually see. Now this one seems a little thicker. So what I do is I have something here called Speed Paint Medium. So this kind of just thins it out just a tad. Sometimes I'll put just a couple of drops in there just to thin out the color just a tad. It's like adding just a little drop of water into another regular paint. All right. So we come on in here. Again, just very generously with the paint, soak in, just follow along the lines, different parts of clothing. Try not to hit the cape too much. But again, if you hit it, that's fine. Just go back and correct it later on after it dries. Under the armpit. Stop at the glove. The glove's going to be a different color. Back of the forearm. And then just hit the other side. Same way. Yeah, one of the things I've really enjoyed about my sabbatical so far is just having time to read and kind of reading, not because I have to read, I'm reading something for like leadership or something to prep a sermon or something we're discussing in our denomination. So I got to read up on it so I can talk about it intelligently. Just reading the stuff that I personally want to read, whether it's for fun or just for my interest or for my own spiritual development. It's just been great. I've actually gone through in the last month and a half, I even started this right before the sabbatical. I've gone through like 6 books now, which is awesome. I normally only do that like a year. So that's been nice. Again, nice blue base in here, Magic Blue. That what it's called? Sorry, what was it called again? Yeah, Magic Blue. Magical. Funny. This version of Dr. Fate has got like this golden girdle on. I don't know if this is which version of Dr. Fate this is. This was New 52 or something else. That's one of the things I really like about this game is they have many, many different versions of the characters based on the DC multiverse. Like they have like New 52 characters and old classic Earth 1 type characters. They even have the Snyderverse versions of the Justice League and the whole bunch of the bad guys. And so I think that adds a super fun touch to the game because you could literally have a battle between the comic book Justice League and the Snyderverse Justice League. So that's be really fun to play that out. So looking forward to getting all those miniatures painted up and on the table and see who's really better, the comic book or the Snyderverse, Justice League. Cool. So there we got the blue here for Dr. Fate. Hey, Chris, good to see you here, buddy. Hope you're keeping well. I'm not going to put on my other glasses to actually read your comment. This is like fun. Favorite superhero movie ever? Favorite DC movie if different? Ooh, that's a tough question. Favorite superhero movie? I do got to say, I know a lot of people probably say this as well, but I think my favorite superhero movie is Captain America Winter Soldier. I think that one, they just nailed it. It was so good. And if you actually read the Captain America Winter Soldier storyline in the comic, it was pretty good and pretty true to a lot of it. And so I really, really liked that a lot. Then my favorite DC movie. What's funny about the DC movies is most of the time they're pretty terrible. But I like them anyways. So, like, I really liked Shazam. I thought Shazam was a lot of fun, the first one. Second one was terrible, but the first one was fun. I didn't like Aquaman. Either of the movies of Aquaman, I thought they were bad. I really wanted to like Man of Steel because I'm such a big Superman fan, and I love Henry Cavill as Superman, but I just didn't like... I don't know, just didn't like how they did Pa Kent and some of his origin, so that bothered me. So, yeah, it was fine. And, yeah, and so, that's a tough one. Favorite DC? Actually, you know what? My favorite DC thing actually was the Superman and Lois TV show. I thought they nailed it. Like, they kind of created a new timeline. They kind of created a new way to do Superman and Lois with their teenage boys living in Smallville. The way they brought in things like Bizarro and other characters like Doomsday, I thought they nailed it. So that's probably my favorite DC superhero thing was Superman and Lois. Of course, older people like us, we got to say it's Superman 78. Because of Christopher Reeve. It's a beautiful movie. It's a classic. Hasn't aged perfectly well, but it's fine. Cool. So let's dive back. Let me jump back in over here. So what I wanted to do now I'm going to look at one of the characters here. I was looking at some of the characters here to see what color they actually are. So here you can see I'm looking at Booster Gold. What kind of blue is he here? See, his blue seems to be like a darker blue than, say, Superman blue. So, yeah, it's definitely a darker kind of blue. So, let's have a look here. So a darker blue. It's got to be darker than that. And hey there, Tabitha. I hope you are doing well. It's good to see you here. And Tabitha, I always thank you for your encouragement in painting and drawing and doing art stuff. It's a great encouragement, and it's been quite helpful to me personally to be doing a little bit more things creative. So thanks for the constant encouragement with your channel. Well, but hungry. Yeah, it's kind of how I feel most days. Trying to lower my calorie intake. Part of my 4-month sabbatical plan is to drop 20, 25 pounds that I slowly put back on over the last little while. Okay, so let's go here. So this is booster gold that I'm hitting here. And now which parts? Okay, so I think I can see sometimes when I prime them with my airbrush, sometimes we get a few little things that are in there. Lord McIntyre, thank you for popping by. Hope you're doing well. We have to get together soon since I'm on this sabbatical now and I've got all this spare time. So I will text you and we'll find a time to get together. They absolutely loved Man of Steel. I think that was the best Superman movie, but really enjoyed the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. Yeah, that Batman trilogy, especially the second one, The Dark Knight, that was pretty epic. It was really, really good. Okay. Now, so let's go here. Let's hit booster gold. Yeah, so I just started saying sometimes when I prime the miniatures using my airbrush, it gets a little spotty. And I don't know why it does that. Maybe it's just in too thick in the airbrush or not, I don't know, not good enough at using it yet. Still kind of learning that. And so hopefully now that the weather's getting nicer, I can start priming my miniatures back outside again instead of in the house with my airbrush, and that will help take care of things. It's funny, I was watching a bunch of YouTube videos this morning of people bashing the new Snow White movie, and I'm not really one for bashing movies on my channel, but I just don't go see garbage anymore. My money is limited and I'm not spending money on garbage anymore. So I just don't do it. So, yeah. But this weekend, I've got tickets for the season 5 premiere of The Chosen. And I'm really pumped about that. And deep down, I'm kind of hoping The Chosen is going to make more money than a Disney movie. That would be just really nice poetic justice, in my opinion. So yeah, cool. Yes, we will definitely do that. I've had that too with airbrushing. I don't know if guessing the fluid isn't mixed well enough, but I have no idea. I know I just need to play with it more. It's just one of those. It's there. It's sitting here on my shelf, and I play with it, but I don't know. I'm more afraid of it probably than I should be. So yeah. So bought the Army Peter. Oh, you bought the Army Painter Speed Paint 2.0 starter set. Nice. So if you want any help with that, we can hang out and paint. Yeah. My buddy here, he actually lives nearby. I've known him since high school. So we've been friends for a long time. Yeah, exactly. Let's see The Chosen. I love it when a Jesus movie beats a big Hollywood movie. I just think that's cool. Make something really good quality, good story. People will go see it. I think that's the way it should work. Yeah, so for this DC game, I got a bunch of new miniatures that should be arriving any day now. Whole bunch of new bad guys, whole bunch of new good guys to choose from. One of the things that's actually available for this game as well, which I didn't buy, but deep down I probably should just because it'd be really super nerdy, is they actually came out with the 3D printer files for the Justice League, but the Big Bang Theory of the Justice League. So you get like Leonard and Sheldon and Kuthapali and all, and Penny as Wonder Woman, and the miniatures look exactly like them. That would just be kind of fun to just throw them on the table as your Justice League characters. That would be a lot of fun. So that's the nice dark blue of Booster Gold. So again, this is why I like putting these caps on the paints now. So I made these caps. So again, you can kind of tell which one's going to be a little bit darker, which one's going to be a little bit lighter, how that's going to work. So that now when I take Booster Gold beside Dr. Fate, I knew right away kind of which blue is going to be different because I can't tell by just looking at the bottle. So this has been a big help doing 3D printing these things and gluing them on. Okay, so I think that's the only spot. Let me go back to my screen here. Booster Gold. Go back to Booster Gold. Where is he here? Go back to Booster Gold. Yeah, his pants are gold. His shoulders are gold. Oh, his gloves are blue. And his collar is blue. Oh, and he's wearing like a face mask kind of thing. Oh, actually, no, on the miniature, the collar is orange. Not orange, gold, based on where the lines are. The star is blue. Okay, so let me then go back over here. And maybe what we'll have to do, Tabitha, is I'll have to have you come on my channel, and we'll just experiment playing with airbrushes together, and we can kind of encourage one another, spur one another on, and try to figure out what we're doing wrong and just play with it. Because one of the things I want to use it for is I printed all this 3D scenery, and I wanted to use the airbrush for that. Another thing I have is a friend of mine made these for me. And again, Tabitha, you'll appreciate these because I got all these chibi guys that my friend made for me of like these like hamster warrior dudes. And like these, again, you can't really see all the details. So I wanted to do these with my airbrush. That was kind of the thinking of these guys is, I don't even know what they are. They're like hamsters and kind of like mice or just like kind of all these little dudes here. I have them in this Viking ship right now that I keep up here that my grandfather made for me. You know, another one. I don't know. I just think they're super cute. I thought they would be fun. Kind of do them with the airbrush to kind of do some blending better, things like that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you definitely want to see, you want to see chibi characters, there's the other game that I'm playing right now. It's called Marvel United, and I've done a bunch of painting of those miniatures. They are right over here. All these miniatures there. That's where all like the Marvel character chibi characters are, which are super fun. There you go. Oh man, so you broke it. Well, when you get a new one, let me know, and we'll figure it out. Okay, so let's get Booster Gold here done, and then so I'm gonna need a smaller brush. Get in here, get into his face. Yeah, I'm one of those guys. Like the brush. Yeah, get the star done. Get the gloves. So it's just the hands from the picture. So the gauntlet part of the glove is gold, but the hands are blue. I'm kind of excited that Booster Gold is going to be in the new DC movies. He's a fun character. They did some good stuff with him in the comic books back in the day. He's a guy from the future, kind of a loser, stole a bunch of time traveling stuff and some technology, came to the past so he could be a superhero. And I thought he was fun. He would have been a fun character for Nathan Fillion to play more than Guy Gardner or Green Lantern. Booster Gold would have been, I think, a lot more fun for him. But curious to see what they do with this new Superman movie. I mean, I love the pictures that are coming out. I actually really like Crypto as a kind of little scrappy looking dog. As a an owner of a little scrappy looking dog. I like that a lot. So that is a lot of fun. I know I was chatting with one guy at my church, and he was like, "Oh, I can't believe they didn't do like a retriever type dog for crypto." But I'm like, no, I'm good with the little scrappy thing. I think that's cute. See, again, the beauty of these speed paints is if you mess up, you just give it 24 hours to dry, and then put some white paint back on it, and then try again. Really simple. Again, you won't be able to see it. I keep saying that, but it's like all the abs on the character just start popping out because of the speed paint. It does everything for me, which is what I absolutely love about speed paint here. And I'm actually still using the old speed paints. I haven't even tried the new ones yet, which I've heard the 2.0s are a lot better. I just couldn't justify buying a big stack of 2.0 paint when I still have all this paint I haven't finished yet. Don't like having to buy stuff when I have to get rid of this one first. Says I just watched Brightburn for the first time recently. What an effective and thought-provoking movie. I haven't seen that because I'm gonna be really honest. I'm a chicken, and I don't like scary movies. Like I really don't. I don't like scary movies, and the trailer of that looked really scary. But I like the kind of bad guy Superman idea. Like what if Superman was a bad guy? What if Superman kind of was an alien invader? I have no problem with that. In fact, some of the miniatures that I have here for the DC Multiverse game is the Crime Syndicate. And so I've got Ultraman all here ready to paint, which is the evil version of Superman. I've got Superwoman, which is the evil version of Wonder Woman. I got Owlman, who is the evil version of Batman. And so that's why I left theirs a little darker in the priming of them. I didn't go as crazy with the white because when I paint them, I want them to look dark. I want them to look more like bad guys. So that's what was, again, fun with that. So yeah, so the idea of like bad guy Superman, I think is a really fun idea. But I just couldn't watch it. It just looks too scary. But I don't know. Let me know. Was it super scary or was it just intriguing? Because if you tell me it's not too bad, then maybe I can tough it out and watch it and hopefully not have too many nightmares. And, okay, and then I just double checked on my screen here, and so Booster Gold's boots are also the dark blue. So let's finish them off. And yeah, it was fun when my wife and we bought our tickets for The Chosen. So we're actually going this Thursday night at the Landmark Theater that's by our place. And I bought the tickets like day one, like the day they made the announcement about it. We were the first ones to buy our tickets, which was also the same time when they made the announcement that The Chosen is going to be hosted on Amazon Prime now as their worldwide distributor. And the beauty of that is the lady who's in charge of distribution and like finding shows for Amazon Prime is a Christian lady. And so she worked out the deal with them that they're going to do like all the translation to make The Chosen into many different languages and still allow the producers of The Chosen to see to release The Chosen on their app for free. I'm like, dude, that's really a sweet deal. Like that Amazon's actually gonna do that. Like they're gonna translate it, make it available, and then still make it available for people around the world for free. I thought that's really cool. So yeah, that's really exciting. Yes, Tabitha, the animated King of Kings. I'm so going to see that. I love the animation style of that. It actually comes out on my birthday. And so I asked my family if we can go see an afternoon showing of that on my birthday for that. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I'm actually a subscriber now through Angel Studios. And so Angel Studios, if you don't know, that's a studio that used to do The Chosen. So they do a lot of faith-based content. And again, the quality of their stuff has just gotten so good. So we subscribe to that monthly. And as a guild member, that's what they call it, as a guild member to Angel Studios, we actually get free tickets for all their premieres. So we actually can get 2 free tickets to go see the animated King of Kings. So that's what we're going to do for that as well. Okay, Chris, yeah, it was scary. I know, it looks so scary. I just don't like the jump scares. So a buddy of mine sent the link showing the timestamp of all the jump scares. That's awesome. Yeah, make it a little bit easier. I remember a couple of years ago, a good friend of mine, because I like, I like science fiction stuff and fantasy stuff and superhero stuff. And we were chatting once and he was like, he's a big Walking Dead fan. And he was asking me what I thought of it. And I said, oh, I've never watched it. And he's like, what? You've never watched The Walking Dead? I said, no, I don't watch zombie stuff. Like zombies scare the bejeebies out of me. I don't like it. It just, I don't know what it is about zombie movies, but they've just always terrified me. And he's like, oh, you got to watch it. You got to watch it. Like, the character development, and it's so good. And it's more about humanity turning on itself than zombies. So just give it a try. Give it a try. So I opened it up, turned on the first episode. And in the opening scene, when you got like the sheriff guy and he's like walking down this deserted street and this little zombie girl, like in this white dress, comes out and he shoots her. I tapped out. Like I was like, I turned it off. I can't do it. There's no way. It just scared the daylights out of me. So yeah. So it was that's as far as I got in watching the Walking Dead. So okay, so almost having a hard time. The line on this boot is really annoying, so I'm gonna have to like go over and then touch it up with some white afterwards because kind of looks a little weird on the 3D print. So there we go. So we got Booster Gold going here. We got Hawkman going. We got Dr. Fate going. Now this is the one. I think I wanted to do it a slightly different way. Again, normally I do speed paint first and then highlights afterwards, but I was looking at this picture here. Let me just share my screen again. I was looking at Blue Beetle. Now, this version of the Blue Beetle is the old original one. It's not kind of the new one that they made the movie of. That I liked that movie, Chris. I actually forgot about the Blue Beetle movie. I liked that one. I thought that was decent and a lot of fun. So here we got this version of Booster Gold. Again, his blue. It's a very, very light blue. So I was thinking this one. Yeah, I got, what is this called? Void Shield Blue that I was going to do for the body. Then, I don't know if I don't really have a blue for the top of a speed paint. So I think I'm going to do it differently. I think I'm going to use 2 colors of paint for him instead of starting off with a speed paint. Yes, I'm really showing your age with the old man glasses. This is the only way I can paint miniatures now. It's like I just can't do it. And again, by buying these things on Amazon for like $20, it actually brought my love back to miniature painting, because I was going to give this hobby up because I just couldn't do it. Like, even with, because I actually don't wear glasses. I only wear readers to read. Like, my eyesight's actually really good. I just kind of need readers to kind of tighten up things and make it a little less blurry. But my eyesight's decent until I get into these kind of details, because I normally paint like up close, but it's all blurry up close. And the readers wasn't good enough to, like, it's good focus. Like, if I do this, it's in focus here, but then you lose some of the details. So by switching over from the readers to my old man, and I love how when you get the angle perfect, it makes my eyes look huge. And then you take Shazam, I can come right up close like this. I can see all the details really good. I can get in here with a paintbrush, and it looks really, really good. Hey there, Steve. Hope all is well with you. And your favorite genre, zombies. Okay, post-apocalyptic. Okay, I like post-apocalyptic stuff. I do. I like fall of society, mankind having to duke things out, all of that. Post-apocalyptic, no problem. Just not with zombies. I remember years ago, I brought my daughter and some of her girlfriends when they were young to go see the Maze Runner sequel. I loved the first Maze Runner. Loved it. And then we go see the second one, and they didn't call them zombies, but they were like all these people who were, what was it, the Scourge or the Scourge or something like that. I can't remember what it was called. And all these zombies running around. I was like, I'm watching it with like 9-year-old girls, and they're loving it, and I'm like screaming, and I'm like, ah! And I'm all freaked out, and they're laughing at me. So it was brutal. Absolutely brutal. All right. So what I want to do is I want to get, actually, you know what? Instead of Blue Beetle, let's jump back over here to the Martian Manhunter, because so I started working on him, and I was just kind of following kind of the traditional way he is set up, like the way he's colored. And then you're not gonna be able to see it, but when I zoomed in here with my old man glasses, I noticed that the top part of his chest is not his chest, it's a jacket. So he's actually not bare chested like we see him in most animated shows or most comic books. You know, he looks more like this version. So I was kind of looking around to see if I could find a Martian Manhunter. And he looks a little bit more like the movie ones, like this one here, where there's a color. He's wearing something here on the top, a different color. So I got to redo that part of him. Yeah, see, like this guy here. You can see more of a cape that way. So exactly, that's what I love about it. The edge of your seat. That's awesome. I'm so glad that you love that. That's great. It keeps us young when you have something like that to keep you on the edge of your seat. Yeah, no, thanks, Owen. I kind of assumed you were kidding around. I don't get too much hate on my YouTube channel because I'm way too small to get a lot of hate. So, so appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah, so with this guy here now, and I thought I'm going to just go out flat out. I'm going to go for broke, and I'm going to risk it. And I'm just going to go right on top of the green. Because if it looks good, then I'm going to do the pants in green, let it dry, and then do the gray on top of the green. Because then that might actually give me a little bit more of an alien kind of color. So instead of just the Greylord gray, which will kind of, again, look like that, like the topper, might have a little bit of a green hue to it. So that's why I was thinking of checking this out. So I'm going to go 2 drops with this. And then let's go with what I do is the thinner speed paint medium. 4 drops of that. So that, again, it's a little bit more watered down. That brush is too big. Get a smaller brush. Let's use this one. And then drop this on. Okay, I made it way too thin because way too much green is showing. Well, mind you, if I put it on a little thicker. Yeah, way too much green is showing. Oh, you know why? I think that's because this wasn't actually a speed paint that I did for the green. It was actually it was jungle green. It was one of the actual paint colors. So, and you know what? Let's try this. Let's keep going, but let's try a couple of drops of this, but without the medium in. So we can, again, the beauty of speed paint, not happy with it. You could wait for it to dry, then paint over it, or just take it all off while it's still wet. That's even easier. Okay, that's a lot better. So it does still have a little tiny bit of the green coming through, but very, very little. Almost makes it look like a Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern kind of look, where his suit is kind of glowing a little bit more that way. And I don't know why I keep trying to see if you can see it. I know you can't, but I have to invest in a better camera that because I watch other painting channels and they do this and their camera automatically focuses on it. So I wonder if that's just a setup feature in StreamYard or the camera setting. I'll have to look around for that. Yes, if I do that, if I did the pants the same way, yeah, I'd be happy with that. Okay. So let's do the pants since I'm on this guy. And whoops, I dropped the lens. These glasses actually came with multiple lenses, so different magnifying. The first day I got them, I put in the strongest level, and I have never tried any of the others. Right. Alien from Mars Attack. I don't know anything about superheroes. No, so this is all DC comic book characters that that I'm doing. It's from a DC superhero game, and so this character, Martian Manhunter, he is from Mars in the comic book. He's just a superhero. He can change shapes, and so he can disguise himself as a human. He can kind of phase through things. He's telekinetic, and his big weakness is fire. Basically, you burn him up, and that you can beat him easily with fire. So we got jungle green over here. This is a new little gadget that I bought recently. Is a paint shaker because I found, and again, I think I paid like $8 for this on Amazon because I just found with these paints, when they sit around for a long time, then they just become a pain in the butt. And I don't know, it just takes forever to shake them and just sitting there for like 20 minutes. Shake for 20 minutes. Just was driving me bonkers. So basically, buy this, slap that down onto this. Power cord's not long enough to reach my table, so I have to kind of keep it on my lap. I just put that down here, turn it on, you're going to hear a noise. Shake, and then turn it off. Take it off the strap, put it back on my shelf, and now the paint is nice and mixed. which gives me a nicer color. Yeah, exactly. Again, don't quote me on $8. It was cheap. Like I just looks just some made in China paint shaker thing. So yeah. Ooh, planning to do a Superman art challenge. Any tips for creating the perfect Superman? Oh, that's a tough one. The perfect Superman. So, all the okay. So, perfect Superman for me. Comic book Superman, the perfect Superman. Google John Byrne Superman. John Byrne Superman. That's how do you spell his last name again? It's John Byrne. Yeah, John Byrne Superman. This guy, for me, is what got me into Superman in the late 80s. Absolutely loved his style. He's the guy, basically, all this stuff of modern day Superman that we see on TV and in comic books. He created all of that here in this issue of this comic book, Man of Steel. Very big. Come on. Don't know why he doesn't want to open it up bigger, but this guy here, John Byrne Superman, was so good. Definitely my favorite version of Superman. He was like my favorite comic book writer, artist of like all time. Always loved his stuff and his work, his stuff like on Fantastic Four, his stuff on X-Men, his stuff on everything. It's just good. And it's that wholesome Smallville, small town, truth, justice, American way Superman that it's just classic, and it's the bright colors. And he was the guy who introduced Lex Luthor as a businessman, kind of like the bald, super genius, like almost like a kingpin kind of character. And so, and again, and that's still used today of Lex Luthor as this super, genius businessman type of guy. So yeah, Google that, John Byrne Superman. That can't go wrong with that, in my unprofessional Superman opinion. Just opinion as a guy who has got 1,400 Superman comics in his furnace room. Okay, let me quickly get these legs done. What am I wearing? Wrong glasses. Switch from those back to those. See, what's interesting about this color, and I don't know what it is, some army paints are a little bit more translucent. Even like no matter how much I shake them, they just have they're like almost like a clear color, but I'm not too sure why. Because maybe I don't know. Maybe I need to shake it for another 30 minutes or so. But it seems like it's all mixed properly. But again, in this case, since I'm going to just cover it up with a black speed paint, well, I'm fine with it being a little translucent. So it kind of makes it look good. Again, beauty of these colors compared to speed paint is you don't have to wait 24 hours for this to dry before you go on top of it. You can usually just wait a few minutes, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then it's good enough to hit and get another person back on. Yeah, I liked the Black Adam. I watched it recently with The Rock. I'm a huge fan of The Rock. I love The Rock. I love everything that The Rock is in. I even watch wrestling when The Rock is on. The fact that he's turned heel recently, I think, is hilarious. But yeah, Black Adam. I liked Black Adam. I thought they did a good, that was a pretty decent movie. I thought the Justice Society in it was really good. I think Hawkman stole that movie. I thought he was great. Actually, no, who actually stole that movie was Henry Cavill. He stole that movie when he showed up at the end of it. I was not expecting that at all. That was incredible. And then the announcement, yay, I'm back as Superman. And then the announcement, no, I'm not back. I've been fired. It was like, broke my heart. Okay, putting paints back in the wrong spot here. I'm getting too many paints on my counter. I like to keep it tidy when I'm painting. Yeah, so there, we got that. Oh, and I do have a Black Adam somewhere. Where's Black Adam? I got Black Adam miniature over here. So we got Black Adam, but this isn't the movie version. This is the new 52 comic book version of Black Adam for the game. All right. So I wanted to look at this Blue Beetle guy. So I think I want to do the same dark, because Blue Beetle and Booster Gold, they're kind of like a team. So they team up a lot in the comic and look at the animated stuff. And so, so I don't want it to be exactly the same blue, but if it's kind of very cool, maybe we'll see. And bring back Val Kilmer for Batman. Very suave Black Adam. Good old Val Kilmer Batman. Those old Batman movies, man. Remember the good old days when we were dying for good superhero movies. I remember when that first X-Men movie came out with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. It was just like, it's about time. We've been dying for a movie like that. Or when the first Spider-Man movie came out with Tobey Maguire, we were like just losing our minds because it's about time we got a really good, well-done Spider-Man movie. And the fact that we're getting the garbage now that we're getting, it's like, oh, come on, go back, get the good stuff happening again. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'm going to use this Void Shield Blue. We're going to do this for Blue Beetle. I like this blue a lot. And go here. So basically, it's most of his body, just apart from the shoulders, the shorts, the boots, and the gloves. So his main body is all this color. So this is not a speed paint. So this is not doing all the shading for me automatically. This guy I'm going to do differently just because I didn't have a speed paint of this shade of light blue. And I stink at colors. And the whole idea of mixing paint to get the color I want, I'm terrible at it. Yeah. So I'm going to do this base coat. And then I'm going to use something called a shade. And what it's going to do, so I have this blue shade, which keeps the main color and just kind of goes into all the cracks to kind of give it like a blue hue highlight. So I'm going to do that, hoping that this will then go into all the abs and different, all the details to make it pop. Oops, painted on my hand. Found out that Hugh lived in my area because he had a picture of his Instagram in the same council bit. That's pretty cool. Like around like several years ago, when he was younger, growing up, or recently, was he living in the area there? Yeah, Australia is a place I've never been. It's funny, my daughter almost went to go do some studying in Australia. She was all getting geared up and ready to go study in Australia, and I only had one rule. Like, I completely trust my daughter. She's awesome. I had no reason to not trust her or anything, but I had one rule for her moving to Australia to go to school, is that she wasn't allowed to fall in love with an Australian. Not because I have anything against Australians, because I didn't want to have to go visit her in Australia all the time. And so just didn't want to have to go visit my grandkids in Australia. Not that I don't have any grandkids yet, but one day, Lord willing, hopefully. Yeah, so now this is going on significantly thicker too. So I dip the brush in some paint, wet the paint a little bit, and then it goes on a little smoother, a little cleaner, a lot less chunky. Onto the details here. Yeah, so my hope and my desire over the next 3 months is, since I'm on a 4-month sabbatical, I want to do these art streams weekly. So sometimes I'll be painting miniatures like this. Other times I'm going to draw, because drawing is something I loved as a kid and kind of walked away from it for most of my life, because it was not really overly encouraged or promoted. And, you can't get a job drawing comic books and make a living drawing comic books. And so all of us kids who dreamt of being comic book artists were all discouraged from doing that. So I really want to get back into drawing. And that was kind of the reason for the name of this stream, of calling it like Strokes of Justice. Is most of the stuff I'm going to be doing is going to be superhero or superhero based type stuff, whether it's miniature painting, like DC miniature painting, or Marvel United miniature painting, or if my Kickstarter company, finishes up soon, then it will be DC United. So then they'll have DC chibi characters, games, and miniatures to paint. So hopefully that will start being released later this year. And again, the hope is not to create miniatures or drawings that are perfect. It's just to enjoy the art, just to enjoy doing it, because I just found every time I was painting, I was like, I was just getting frustrated and angry because the miniature didn't look perfect, or it didn't come out as good as it was in my head, and would just be discouraging. And it's like, stop being discouraged by it and just enjoy it. Like, just enjoy being creative. And like, it's a gift, the talent that I've been given. And so it doesn't have to be about, perfect and a product that I can sell, or, oh my goodness, how many people are going to watch me on YouTube doing that? How much money am I going to make on YouTube? Will anyone become a channel member? Blah, blah, blah. Stop it. Stop worrying about that stuff and just enjoy hanging out with friends online while creating. That's the whole. That's why I like the online painting parties that Tabitha does. I think that's so great. Get together with friends, invite them over, online, paint together, laugh together, have a good time. I think that's awesome. I think my rule is well-founded. Thank you. I think it's a good dad rule, right? You don't want your daughters running off and marrying boys from all over the world. My family had the same issue traveling here in Scotland. There you go. So now this guy's got this nice light blue everywhere. And then I'm going to hit it, like I said, with this shade afterward. I'm going to give it a few minutes to dry, hit it with a shade, and then we'll see how that turns out. And then let's jump back over to Dr. Fate. We haven't touched him in a long time. So everything else here in Dr. Fate is yellow, according to what I was looking at. I was looking at some pictures of him online. Everything about him, it's blue and yellow, and like different shades of it. See, this is like the big giant girdle thing that he's got on here in this picture. Right. So there's the movie one. Yeah, the movie one looked great. But so the movie one, it's all shiny. Whereas in a lot of the comic book stuff, they made it like just white. Or sorry, just yellow and a shiny helmet. I think I'm gonna paint him like the movie one. I think I'm gonna do it all in gold. The cape, the boots, the helmet. Do everything in gold. Yeah, let's do that. Because the fun thing, I don't have the speed paints for the metals, but there's a different way of making the metal colors look really good, of getting them to shine and have some shade in them as well. I'm going to give this one a stir with my paint mixer, because I find the metallic, especially the gold, I find can be a little watery if I don't shake it properly. So here's going to be some noise for a bit. And yeah, so again, the whole point of doing these streams on Tuesday is hang out, chat, enjoy just creating together. And hopefully this encourages you to do something creative for yourself, whether it's drawing, whether it's painting, whether it's 3D printing, whether it's putting caps and painting your caps on your paint, like whatever it is for you, just get out and do something fun, do something creative, have a good time with it. So that's really what I hope I can encourage other people to do that. Oh, I'm looking at my cell phone over here. Can I send a break the rule? My brother again. It's funny, one of the staff, my pastor, the other pastor on my staff at church, just sent me a text to see if he's allowed to break the rules and talk to me about work stuff. He's the one who set the rule. He didn't want to tell me anything about work stuff, but I'll text him back after when I'm done. Okay, so duck fade, all gold here. So we go gold helmet. Oh, there is some skin there under his helmet. Let's not hit that with the gold. And as soon as I said that, I painted his ear. And we got his amulet. And we hit the cape. And pulls it off the hair. Steve, I recently thought of carving whittling knives, but haven't done anything with them. You've inspired me. Dude, that's awesome. You should do it. Like, just get on it. Just have fun with it. Like, that's what I'm really trying to do now with this creativity thing. It's just have fun. Like, so much of life is like, blah, so produce, and blah, 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 and grow. And it's like, if it doesn't have purpose and meaning, what's the point? Like, having fun is purpose and meaning. Just enjoying life a little bit is great. And just find something that you like to do and just do it. And honestly, I'd rather do something like painting miniatures or drawing or wood carving than just sitting around and letting my brain, mush out sitting in front of the TV. Because that's what I was doing for so long. And it's like, man, why am I not relaxed? Why do I feel stressed out all the time? Because TV is not relaxing. It's funny, like Danielle and I, we were watching Everybody Loves Raymond all the time. And I had to stop watching it. It's like, for crying out loud, like, sick of watching this. This family just fight all the time, and stress all the time. And honestly, Ray Barone's a horrible husband, horrible father, constantly begging his wife for sex. This is like, oh my goodness, this is like depressing. I can't stand watching this all anymore. I just have to stop. So part of my sabbatical, what I'm doing is I'm working on something called a rule of life to help me really intentionally put more spiritual rhythms in my life. And one of the new rules that I'm kind of trying to live by is no more TV on weekdays. It's like, do something else. Read a book. Do something a little bit more fun. So turn the camera a little bit more this way. Yeah, so the gold here, that's really popping. That's looking really good. The most fun I've ever had painting miniatures is painting the old Ralpartha Dragonlance lead minis, the companions. Oh, I know. Those were awesome. Make them look like the Larry Elmore paintings. Yeah, I actually just recently found a box of the old Dragonlance minis. Not Dragonlance, sorry, the Draconians that I still had. They were so good, but a bunch of pieces were missing in it, so it's an incomplete set. But just having that box again is really cool. Actually, I think I have it. Is it right there? No, I put it away. But I'll have to dig it out again because it's really, really cool. Hey, how's it going? Good to have you here. Hope all is well with you. So probably going to sign off in the next 15 minutes or so. I want to kind of finish this gold on this guy. And then I'm on supper duty tonight because my wife is training to do a mini triathlon. So she's doing a bike ride, swim, and run. I think she's doing it in June. So she's got her swimming lessons tonight. For that, she's prepping for that again, doing something new, learning something, trying something different. I always say, you ain't dead, you ain't done. There's always something new you can do. There's always something new you can learn. Have fun. Okay. I find the metallic paints, they spread funny, especially on a big open area like this. But since this is like, kind of want this guy to look magical anyways, so I'm okay with that actually, if it looks a little odd, because then I'm going to shade it with a special kind of shade. I just painted his arm. Dang it. I have to fix that after. And then I'll highlight it kind of in a funky way to make it look like, well, he looks like he's like casting some kind of spell or something. So, yeah, the Draconians are great too. Metallic copper bronze, exactly. Yeah. If you're looking to check out the Tachesis limited edition miniature, yours for only $250. The dollars or pounds? Pounds or dollars? $250. American dollars? Yeah. Nowadays, that's a lot of Canadian dollars. Okay, look at this glove. Yeah, so I gotta make dinner tonight, and that way Danielle can go to her swimming. I'm just gonna keep painting miniatures while she's swimming, and then tomorrow, what am I gonna do tomorrow? Another thing I wanted to do on my sabbatical is I live in the nation's capital of Canada. There are tons of museums, tons of art galleries. I've lived here for 15 years. I've never been to anything. So I want to go to the museums and the art galleries while I'm off on sabbatical. So I might go do that tomorrow or on Thursday. But the thing about my sabbatical is my wife still has to go to work. So she's been able to do some stuff with me that I'm doing on the weekend. But some of this retreaty kind of stuff that I'm doing during the week, unfortunately, she's not able to join me on that. Hey, gotta go. Sort of the way you wanted. Well, thank you so much for joining, Owen. It was really great to have you here. And this weird girdle thing that he's wearing, there's like literally no details on it at all, except for a little kind of half moon up at the top. I'm going to need a smaller brush to do this. Boots. Yeah, you know what? I'm really glad I did this with gold instead of yellow. I think this looks really amazing. Again, it just makes him look more like this eternal, kind of ethereal, magical creature than just your typical spandex superhero. I am really, really happy. I mentioned this at the beginning, that my buddy who printed these out for me on his resin printer, we're printing them at 125% of the size, which just makes them, I don't know. I think they just look better on the table too, to be honest. It just makes a nice size miniature for miniature gaming and makes it a lot easier to paint them. Got just a smaller brush here. See, and what I love, again, about these bead paints, because it does all this shading for you automatically. Again, if you're just doing this to have fun and to get some color on your miniatures to put them on the table, you're not worried about it's got to look totally professional and every miniature's got to look incredible. Like this, and you can't see all the details of the blue, but this looks amazing on the table. This would look amazing on the table, just like this. The gold is nice and shiny. Just the light is automatically creating different shades. Like you can see all of his abs. You can see like his chest muscles. Like you just have to kind of just do the base and you're done. Like you can play with this. Like this is perfect tabletop miniature quality to make your game table just pop and look really, really good. Right? Like again, just like some simple colors. Again, when you get all these guys out here like this, I love it because then it's yay, like all the superheroes, and just get some basic colors on there. Just makes your game look so much better. Yeah, exactly. Just the gold naturally pulls out the light. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by, Steve. Really appreciate you being here. Thank you. Oh, yeah. So I think, you know what? I'm going to call it quits because I'm streaming here for about almost an hour and a half. Thank you so much for joining me here today. It really, really means a lot to me. Kind of, again, trying to bring some new life back to my YouTube channel. I'm putting some shorts up, starting to get into some comic book stuff. I'm going to be, I might play some board games, some one-player board games, just live stream it, again, just for fun because I'm home and I can do it while I'm on sabbatical. And again, I really appreciate everyone stopping by. It really means a lot to me. And just as an FYI, if you didn't know this already, basically I don't, I monetize at YouTube. I don't make a heck of a lot off of it, but all the money I make off of YouTube, we use it to actually sponsor children in Guatemala through Compassion. So again, don't do this for the money. I just enjoy it. And so then we use that money to just be a blessing to other people. So really just grateful for that opportunity to do that. So, well, I'm going to sign off. But until the next video, God bless you, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Take care, everybody.